Right. Good evening, everybody. Uh, in the last class, what all we have discussed, we have started with Unit 3, which is AC and DC transmission systems. Okay, we are discussing about DC transmission system. Okay, we are in advantages of DC transmission. Here, I have, in last class, I told up to this slide, and right now, the next slides, information we will discuss. Loss due to charging current in DC transmission is eliminated. Okay, even charging current means, as underground cables are laid down, as the distance between the cables are less, so there will be a charging current between two conductors. So as per DC, capacitance effect is not there, so loss due to charging current will get eliminated. This DC transmission is also preferred for underground cables. Why? Because of the loss of charging current. Charging current is eliminated. Next, voltage regulation is better. Okay, why? Because this Ferranti effect, these all are not there. Okay, so voltage regulation means voltage at no load to voltage at full load. The difference of voltage at no load to voltage at full load, even our voltage regulation is also better, and stabilizer is also not required for this. Okay, right. Coming to what are the disadvantages of DC transmission, let us try to understand what are the disadvantages of DC transmission. In coming to DC transmission, power can't be generated at high voltages. First thing is DC is not available directly. Even in solar panels also, hardly, based on the panel size. Even solar panels efficiency is also very less. Based on solar size, based on solar cells size, very less amount of DC is generated. Okay, like our alternator generates 11 kilovolts. Alternator generates within a limit of 11 to 25 kilovolts. And similarly, our DC generators cannot generate that high voltage. We will get around 220 volts. If we use a DC generator, we can't get a generation at very higher voltage, like 11 kilovolts or above 11 kilovolts. The next disadvantage of DC transmission is DC transmission. Even for DC transmission, we are not having. Even for our DC transmission, we are not having transformer. Okay, we can't step up or step down the voltage. Okay, this is another disadvantage of DC transmission. Next, cost of converting and inverting stations are high. Okay, if we want if we want DC transmission, what we need to do is AC should be converted to DC. If suppose if we want to transmit DC, then AC should be converted to DC. DC should be transmitted to faraway places, and again DC should be converted to AC. So cost of converting and inverting stations. Okay, converting means rectifying station, and inverting station is also high. Requires costly switchgear. Okay, as the cost of conversion system is high, even switchgear protection, even the protection equipment, more amount of protection equipment is also required for DC transmission. So these are the disadvantages of DC transmission. Coming to the advantages of AC transmission. Okay, what are the advantages of AC transmission? Let us try to have a look. Right, voltage can be stepped. The main backbone or the main thing for an AC transmission is more amount of voltage can be stepped up or stepped down. A transformer is such an equipment that more amount of voltage can be stepped up or more amount of voltage can be stepped down based on the number of turns of the transformer. We can easily change the levels of voltage voltage transmission. You can easily transfer the voltage either to a higher one or to a lower one. So that is the first advantage. Second, electrical power is generated at high voltages. As for a DC generator, I told electrical energy is generated at very low voltages for DC, whereas for AC we are having huge alternators and they are able to generate like we are having this non-salient coal type alternators, and electrical power is generated at very high voltages. Next, maintenance of substation is easier and cheaper. Okay, even conversion and inverting equipment is also not required. Maintenance of substation is also easy. Okay, we can easily maintain the substation also. Even we don't have any additional components for conversion also. Even, I mean, as the additional component, for the additional component like rectifiers and inverters, even the protection equipment is also required. Here maintenance is easy. Why? Because the components which are useful, or the components which we are trying to use, are less. It's the cost of switch gear is also less. Okay, switch gear protection, or SGP, switch gear protection, relay circuits. Even as the system is very complex, if we are converting AC to DC, then DC to AC, again more equipment will be involved, and more switch gear protection should be required. Here the cost of switch gear is also less in AC transmission. Coming to disadvantages of AC transmission, let us see what are the disadvantages of AC transmission. Right. In an AC transmission, more conductor material is required. Why more conductor material is required in an AC transmission? Means usually AC voltage is transmitted in three phases. I mean, whatever the high voltage transmission which we do for long distances, it is in three phases. So three phases means minimum we require for three phases we require either three wire connection, or three phase four wire connection. Okay, if you are using four wires, so minimum three wires should be used, or four wires will also be used. Based on the number of wires, more amount of conductor material is required for AC transmission. Okay, power loss due to charging current. Right, if you want to transmit AC, I mean AC transmission, if it is done through underground cables, usually overhead transmission lines are only preferred. Okay, in very populated areas, okay, or in a small, I mean I mean in cities where the area where the I mean where the area is very small, I mean overhead transmission is not supportive, then they go for underground transmission, that is through cables. Okay, even if they go through underground transmission also, what happens is power loss due to charging current also will be there. What is charging current means? In even through underground, the same three wires we need to we need to dig inside the layers of the earth. I mean, in the upper layers of the earth, they dig the, I mean, topmost layer, and inside and in the inner layers of the earth, or just inside the upper layer, we place three conductors. Okay, and three conductors means the three conductors. I mean based on the distance between the phases, what happens is, based on the distance between the phases, I mean, as the distance between the phases will be less compared to overhead transmission lines. Okay, there, I mean, charging current will flow from one conductor to another conductor. Why? Because in an AC, capacitance effect will also play a role. So I mean, for AC transmission, loss will be constituted even for power loss is constituted even for charging current also. Next is construction of transmission lines are also difficult. Okay, we can't easily construct lines. Transmission lines, okay. Even overhead transmission lines, if there is a problem, again a layout, a geographical topography, they will take and they will try to lay down the transmission lines. Okay, synchronizing problems will also be there. Synchronizing problems, why? Because if there are any other circuits, or if there are any other transmission lines which are passing nearby our electrical transmission system, what happens is there will be a problem of mismatch in frequency between between this electrical between this electrical conductors of 50 hertz frequency and other conductors of different frequency. So there will be a problem of synchronizing, or there will be a problem of interference also. Okay, synchronizing means all the power plants also should work at one frequency. Okay, mostly they will try to maintain a frequency of 50 hertz, around 50 hertz, like plus or minus 0.2%, like that they will try to maintain. Like it will be from 49 point something to 51 point something. Right. Next is, due to skin effect, line resistance will be less. Okay, uh, due to skin effect, line resistance will increase. I mean, for an AC transmission, what happens is, I mean, pure in AC transmission. In AC transmission, another drawback is, or for an AC current, I mean, you will have the property of skin effect. What is skin effect means? The current will try to link through the surface only. So what happens is, due to skin effect, line resistance will increase. Why? Because the area of cross section, or the area where the current is linking, that area will decrease. So our resistance will increase. Due to the skin effect, resistance of the transmission line will increase. Next, due to corona, spacing between the conductors should be kept more. Corona means, usually what happens is, corona is occurs frequent. I mean, the effect of corona is prominent at a higher voltages, as our AC transmission lines are working at high voltages. So definitely we will have the problem of corona effect more in AC transmission compared to DC transmission. So what they try to do is, they try to put spacing, I mean spacing between the conductors, so that there won't be any, there won't be, I mean, the whatever the air molecules which are present around this conductors will not get ionized easily. So because of this, I mean, the spacing between the conductors will be increased in order to reduce the effect of corona. Okay, I mean, as there is effect of corona, spacing should be kept more. In cables, alternating current causes sheath loss. Okay, whatever the underground cables which we use, this alternating current causes, again in cables, there are three parts: core, core, sheath, and there are three parts in a cable. I mean, cable surface is classified into three parts. Okay, I mean, because if you use alternating current, if alternating current is passed through the cables, okay, it will cause a sheath loss. Right. So these are about the advantages and disadvantages of AC transmission and DC transmission systems. Right. uh, till now we have discussed about what is the need of transmission line, why transmission lines are needed. I mean, they are the connecting points between generation unit and distribution unit. Next, what is the choice of supply system? We are having two supply systems. One is DC supply system and another is AC supply system. Which supply system should be used? What are the advantages of one supply system over another? And how many connections are there in each supply system? Like in DC supply system, two wire DC two-wire system with the midpoint earth, or DC two-wire system with one end earth. Okay, again coming to AC, you are having single phase and three phase system. Again, single phase with the two wires. Okay, or again three phase with four wire, three phase with three wire, single phase with two wire, two phase with four wire, two phase with two wire, and three wire systems. So this all we have dealt in the previous class, and we now we have a basic idea about what are the relative advantages, or what are the about what are the relative advantages of DC and AC systems. Okay, I mean, what are the major advantages of AC and DC, and in what conditions which type of transmission should be preferred, that also we have got an idea. Now in the next topic, what all I am going to teach, that I will show. I mean, this slide will give a small give a small idea about what we are going to discuss in the in this class. The I mean, we are going to study in detail about how much conductor material is required by the supply system for overhead lines and underground cables. Okay, I mean, if you are using DC supply system or if you are using AC supply system, how much conductor material is required? Why? Because I mean, the conductor material should be the conductor material. I mean, we need to analyze how much conductor material is required for different types of systems, like single phase, single phase, three phase, or DC system. Even in DC also, again there are two connections, like one with midpoint earth and another it is DC plain two wire system. Like this, as we are having different classifications in each type of transmission system, that is DC and AC. So how much conductor material is required for each type of transmission system? Let us try to understand. Right, the following assumptions are made for calculating the conducting material. Before calculating the conducting material for different types of transmission or for different classifications of transmission, uh, let us have a look on what are the following assumptions. Right, these assumptions should be made before calculating the conducting material. Okay, right. Next is what are the right. The following assumptions. What are the assumptions which are made? Let us see. Equal amounts of power is transmitted. We are assuming that equal amount of power is getting transmitted. If we are taking DC, DC two-wire system, and again you are this is one case. Second case is DC two-wire system with midpoint earth. Okay, these are two individual cases. Okay, in these two individual cases, we are trying to we are assuming that equal amount of power is transmitted. Okay, means why? Because if you calculate for equal amount of power only, you will understand how much conductor material is required. I mean, which transmission system is taking more conductor material and which transmission system is taking less conducting material. We will have an idea. So these assumptions are necessary so that we can calculate power in each type of in each type of transmission. That equal amounts of power are transmitted. I mean, even the lengths of lines are also considered equal. Okay, either you take DC two-wire system, either you take DC two-wire system with the midpoint neutral. Okay, the both the lengths of the wires are the same. It's equal line losses. Why? Because in the lines and in the two in case 1 and case 2, what are the lines you are taking, even I square r loss for the two lines also should be the same. Next, the last what we need to assume is the maximum voltage between the two conductors is the same. Okay, what is the maximum voltage means? If suppose we are taking two terminals, okay, like positive and negative. Okay, what is the maximum voltage which you consider between the two conductors is called as V suffix m, that is V maximum. So these are the four assumptions we need to these are the four assumptions which we are these are the four conditions which we are assuming before calculating the conductor material. Okay, right. Coming to the next point, conductor material required for overhead lines for various systems. Okay, coming to DC system, DC two-wire system with one conductor earthed. If suppose this is a DC two-wire system with one conductor earthed means DC two-wire system means this is a DC generator. There are two terminals for the generator. One terminal is earthed and the another terminal is not earthed. And the voltage between these two terminals is V maximum, V suffix m, and the current which is passing is given as I. Right, coming to Vm is the maximum potential difference between the conductor and earth in volts. Capital I is current in amperes and R is the resistance of the conductor in ohms. Right, coming to line voltage which is Vm, power transmitted is equals to capital P is equals to Vm into I. Line loss or power loss, is equals to 2I square into R. Why? Because you are taking two lines. You are taking two lines. There are two lines and one line is also earthed and the second terminal is earthed. Even the second terminal is again having a conductor. Means there are two terminals. There are two wires with one conductor earthed. Right. Next is power line loss or power loss is equal to 2 into I square into R. Next, two wire system with midpoint earthed. Just a minute. Right. This is Right, sorry for the disturbance. Okay, I will continue from here. Just a minute. Right, this is DC two-wire system. This is two-wire system with one wire which is earthed. Okay, line loss or power loss, which is 2 into I square into R. Coming to DC two-wire system with midpoint earthed. This is DC two-wire system with midpoint is earthed for this. Okay, let us have a look on the conductor, the material required for the conductor, on the calculation of the material which is required for conductor. Right, next coming to this, Vmax is the potential difference between the conductor and earth. I1 is current in amperes, R1 is the resistance of the conductor in ohms, line voltage is equals to 2 into Vm. Right, power transmitted is equals to 2 Vm into I1. Right, line loss or power loss is equals to 2 into I1 square into R1. Line loss or power loss is equals to 2 into, as there are two conductors, 2 into I1 square into R1. Right, as we have assumed that power in both the cases are equal, so 2 Vm into I1 is equals to Vm into I, while I1 is equals to I by 2, equating for equal power loss, 2 I1 square R1 is equals to 2 I square into R by R1 is equals to I1 square by I square, whereas I1 is equals to I by 2 as per the above calculation of equating equal powers. So it is I by 2 whole square by I square, which is equals to 1 by 4, or R by R1 is equals to A1 by A, as resistance is inversely proportional to area of cross section. R by R1 is equals to A1 by A. Right, and now coming to amount of conductor material required for two-phase. Amount of conductor material required for DC two-wire system with midpoint earthed, and amount of conductor material required for DC two-wire system with one end earthed. Okay, the last two cases they are trying to calculate the ratio of amount of conductor material which is used, which is 2 into 1 by 4 by 2 into 1, which is equal to 1 by 4. So the amount of conductor material required for DC two-wire system with midpoint earthed is equals to 1 by 4 times of amount of conductor material required for DC two-wire system with one end earthed. Right, coming to the AC system, here also we will try to calculate the amount of conductor material which is required for this AC some single wire system, or AC single phase system with two wire. Okay, and we will compare it with DC. Okay, right, this is a single phase two wire system with one conductor earthed. Again you are having, it is a single phase two wire system. It is a single phase two wire system. It is a single phase two wire system with one conductor is earthed in this. Okay, again there are two wires, but one the down or the neutral conductor is earthed. Coming to VM is the maximum potential difference between conductor and earth in volts. I2 is the current in amperes, and R2 is the resistance of the conductor in ohms, and power factor is equals to cos of phi. Okay, RMS voltage is equals to Vm by root 2, Vrms is equals to Vm by root 2, power transmitted is equals to Vrms into Irms into cos phi. Vrms is equals to Vm by root 2, I2 into cos phi. Line loss or power loss is equals to 2 into I2 square into R2 pi, because there are two conductors, so the line loss is equals to 2 I2 square into R2, equating for equal power. Okay, we will get it as I2 is equals to root 2 I by cos phi, equating for equal power loss. That also we will get as R by R2 is equals to 2 by cos square phi, or A2 by A. Again, we are trying to calculate the ratio of amount of conductor material required for AC two-wire system with one conductor earthed, and amount of conductor material for DC two-wire system with one end earthed. This is AC and DC comparison, that too with one end earthed. There also the first case was DC two-wire system with one end earthed. Here also AC two-wire system with one conductor earth, which is 2 into 2 by cos square phi by 2 into 1, which is equals to 2 by cos square phi. Next, single phase two wire system with midpoint earthed. Right. Uh, Single phase two wire system with midpoint earthed. uh, mm, this is again single phase two wire system. Single phase two wire system with midpoint earth means one phase only they are trying to use. There it is. I mean, it is also two wire system and midpoint is earth. As the midpoint should be earthed, the single winding will be divided into two, and the midpoint of this, I mean, the midpoint of the junction or the midpoint of the two wires will be grounded. So the total voltage is equals to 2 Vm, and I mean, there are two arrow marks with the currents which are entering and leaving. Vm is the maximum potential difference between the conductor and earth. Right, I3 is current in amperes, R3 is resistance of the conductor in ohms, and power factor is equals to cos phi. RMS voltage is equals to 2 Vm by root 2, which is root 2 Vm. RMS voltage is equals to 2 Vm by root 2. Next, power transmitted P is equals to root 2 Vm. Power transmitted is equals to Vi cos phi, where Vrms into Irms into cos phi, where Vrms is given as root 2 Vm into I3 into cos phi. Again, line loss or power loss is given as 2 into I square into R, equating for equal power. Root 2 Vm I3 cos phi is equals to Vm into I, and I3 is equals to I by root 2 into cos phi, equating for equal power loss. 2 I3 square R3 is equals to 2 I square into R. Next, R by R3 is equals to I3 square by I square, which is equals to 1 by 2 cos square phi, or R by R3 is equals to A3 by A. Next, amount of conductor material required for AC two-wire system with midpoint earth divided by amount of conductor material required for DC two-wire system with one end earth, which is equal to, this is again comparison of two wires AC two-wire system with midpoint earthed to AC amount of conductor material for DC two-wire system with one end earthed, okay, which is equal to 2 into 1 by 2 cos square phi by 2, which is equals to cos square phi by 2. Next, coming to three phase three wire system. Again in three phase we have two connections. One is three phase three wire system, and again is three phase with four wire connection. That fourth wire is taken as neutral. Right. Let us try to understand what is a three phase three wire system. Okay, this is a three phase three wire system. This is a star connection connected three phase three wire system, where the center point is tried to grounded. Vm is the maximum voltage between this neutral point and the phase winding. And R phase. Okay. Right, Vm is the maximum potential difference between the conductor and the earth. I phi is the current in amperes. R phi is the resistance of the conductor in ohms, and power factor is equals to cos phi. RMS voltage is equals to Vm by root 2. Power transmitted P is equals to 3 into 3 Vi cos phi. Normally power transmitted formula is 3 Vrms Irms into cos phi, whereas Vrms is equals to Vm by root 2 into I phi into cos phi. Next, line loss or power loss is equals to 3 into I phi square into R phi. Right, we will try to equate power losses in three phase and single phase DC type. 3 Vm by root 2 into I phi cos phi is equals to Vm into I, where I phi is equals to 1 by 3 into root 2 I by 3 into I by 3 into root 2 cos phi, equating for equal power loss. Here again we are trying to equate power losses. Okay, where the power loss in previous it was given as 2 I square R. Here it is given as 3 I phi square into R phi. Okay, next R by R phi is equals to 3 I phi square by 2 I square, which is equals to 1 by 3 into cos square phi, which is equal to A phi by A. Amount of conductor material for AC three phase three wire system by amount of conductor material for DC two wire system with one end earthed, which is equal to 3 into 1 by 3 into cos square phi by 2, which is equals to cos square phi by 2. Next, conductor material which is required for underground cables for various systems. Okay, till now we have tried to calculate the amount of conductor material for AC 3-phase 3-wire system by amount of conductor material required for DC 2-wire system with one end earthed. Okay, which is equal to amount of conductor material which is given as 3 into 1 by 3 cos square phi by 2 into 3 cos square phi by 2 into 1. It's a conductor material required for underground cables for various systems. Okay, how a conductor material for underground cables for various systems is calculated. Again, we are taking a DC system. This is a DC 2-wire system, right? Vm is the maximum potential difference between the conductor and the earth in volts. I is the current in amperes. R is the resistance of the conductor in ohms. Next, line voltage is equals to Vm. Power transmitted P is equals to Vm into I. Next, line loss or power loss is equals to 2I square into R. For two conductors, line loss or power loss is equals to 2 into I square into R. DC 2-wire system with midpoint earthed. Here Vm is the maximum potential difference between the conductors. I1 is the current in amperes. R1 is the resistance of the conductor in ohms. Line voltage is equals to Vm. Power transmitted is equals to Vm into I1. Line loss is equals to 2 I1 square into R1. Right. Okay, equating for equal power, Vm into I1 is equals to Vm into I. Okay, I1 is equals to I. Equating for equal power losses, 2I1 square R1 is equals to 2I square R, which is R by R1 is equals to I1 square by I square, which is I square by I square. So it is equal to A1 by A. So amount of conductor material for DC 2-wire system with midpoint earth by amount of conductor material required for DC 2-wire system, which is equals to 2 by 2, which is equal to 1. Okay, for underground system, so this is about DC 2-wire system with midpoint earth. The previous was about the DC 2-wire system with one and it is about DC 2-wire system. Okay, here the maximum voltage is Vm and current is I. Here also the maximum voltage is Vm and current is I1. As the two voltages are same, I mean the two voltages or the maximum voltages in case of DC 2-wire system and in DC 2-wire system with midpoint, as the maximum voltages are same, so even the amount of conductor material which is required for DC 2-wire system and DC um, 2-wire system with midpoint earthed. Okay, it is the same. Next, coming to AC system, single phase 2-wire system. Here also we are having single phase 2-wire system. Okay, here I mean the single one phase winding. Okay, with the um, with two conductors. Okay, Vm is the maximum voltage, Vm is the maximum potential difference between the conductors, I2 is the current in amperes, R2 is the resistance of the conductor in ohms, power factor is equals to cos phi, RMS voltage is equals to Vm by root 2, power transmitted is equals to Vrms into Irms into cos phi, whereas Vrms is Vm by root 2, line loss or power loss is equals to 2 into I2 square into R2, equating for equal power, Vm by root 2 I2 cos phi is equals to Vm into I2 is equals to root 2 I cos phi, equating for equal power losses, 2I2 square R is equals to 2I square R, where I2 is equals to root 2 I cos phi square into R2 is equals to 2I square R. whereas R by R2 is equals to 2 by cos square phi, which is equal to A2 by A. Amount of conductor material required for AC two-wire system by amount of conductor material required for DC two-wire system is equals to 2 by cos square phi. Right. So amount of conductor material required for AC two-wire system is 2 by cos square phi times of amount of conductor required for DC two-wire system. Right. Single phase two-wire system with midpoint earth. This is again single phase two-wire system with midpoint earth. Previous was single phase two-wire system. The previous topic was about just a single phase two wire system. We have compared it with single phase with the DC two wire system, which is equals to 2 into 1. Right. Amount of conductor material required for 2 into 2 by cos square phi. Cos square phi by 2 into 1. Right. Next is single phase two wire system with midpoint earthed. Okay, coming to single phase two wire system with midpoint earthed, it is also having two wires. Okay, I mean one phase winding is divided into two parts. Okay, the midpoint is earthed, and again there are uh, two terminals or two wires are used. Vm is the maximum potential difference between the conductors. Okay, I3 is the current in amperes, R3 is the resistance of the conductor in ohms, and power factor is equals to cos phi. Okay, next RMS voltage is equals to Vm by root 2, power transmitted is equals to P is equals to Vm by root 2 into I3 into cos phi. Next, line loss or power loss is equals to 2 into I3 square into R3. Next, equating for equal power, Vm by root 2 I3 cos phi is equals to Vm into I, where I3 is equals to root 2 I cos root 2 I by cos phi. Equating for equal power loss, 2 I3 square R3 is equals to 2 I square into R. Next, if we compare it, R by R3 is equals to 2 by cos square phi, which is equal to A3 by A, and amount of conductor material required for single phase AC two wire system by amount of conductor material required for DC two wire system. Okay, which is equal to 2 into 2 by cos square phi by 2 into 1, which is equal to 2 by cos square phi. Right. Next is about three phase three wire system. Okay, let us have a look on three phase three wire system also. This is a three phase three wire system. Here the star point is not grounded or it is not connected to neutral. Let us have a look on three phase three wire system. Vm is the maximum potential difference between the conductors. I4 is the current in amperes. R4 is the resistance of the conductor in ohms, and power factor is equals to cos phi. Maximum voltage between the conductor to neutral is equals to Vm by root 3. Okay, like phase voltage is equals to Vm by root 3. Right, RMS voltage is equals to RMS voltage means it is 1 by root 2 times of maximum voltage, which is equal to Vm by root 3, which is equal to Vm by root 6. Power transmitted P is equals to 3 V phase I phase into cos phi. V phase or VRMS, which is equals to Vm by root 6 into I4 into cos phi. Line loss or power loss is equals to 3 I4 square into R4. line loss or power loss is equals to 3I4 square into R4. If equating for equal power, 3 into Vm by root 6 into I4 cos phi is equals to Vm into I, whereas I4 is equals to root 6 I by 3 cos phi. Next, equating for equal power loss, 3I4 square R4 is equals to 2I square R, whereas 3 into root 6 I by 3 cos phi whole square into R4 is equals to 2I square R by R4 is equals to 1 by cos square phi, or it is equal to A4 by A. Next, amount of conductor material required for AC 3-phase 3-wire system by amount of conductor material required for DC 2-wire system, which is equals to 3 into 1 by cos square phi by 2 into 1, which is equals to 3 by 2 or 1.5 by cos square phi. So this is about the different comparison of conductor materials which are used in AC transmission and DC transmission. Even for underground cables also, how we try to use, they have explained, we have calculated by using derivation also, I mean calculating the direct ratio also, we have come to know about the amount of conductor material which is required for AC 3-phase 3-wire system by amount of conductor material which is required for DC 2-wire system. Right. Right. The ratio of conductor material required in any system compared with that in corresponding two-wire DC system. The ratio of conductor material required in any system means if you are using DC system, this is two-wire system, means maximum voltage to earth, maximum voltage to earth with corresponding two-wire system. The ratio of conductor material required in any system the ratio of conductor material required in any system compared with that in the corresponding two-wire DC system. We are trying to compare it with two-wire DC system. Okay, I mean two-wire DC system only, as we are taking maximum voltage to earth, the ratio is 1, and maximum voltage with respect to conductor, it is also equal to 1. Two-wire with midpoint earth is again 0.25. Okay, maximum voltage to earth, and maximum voltage between conductors. Okay, maximum voltage to earth and maximum voltage between the conductors. Okay, maximum voltage to earth means for two-wire system, maximum voltage between the conductors, both are the same. Again, two-wire with midpoint earth, as midpoint is earth, and maximum voltage with respect to earth, it is equal to the ratio of conductor material they are trying to calculate, it is equal to 1 by 4, and here it is equal to 1. We are taking AC systems for single phase two-wire system. Maximum voltage with to earth is 2 by cos square phi. Maximum voltage between the conductors is 2 by cos square phi. Next to single phase two-wire with midpoint earth, it is 0.5 by cos square phi. And again maximum voltage between the conductors is 2 by cos square phi. Again, three-phase three-wire system, maximum voltage to earth is 2 by cos square phi, and maximum voltage between the conductors is 1.5 by cos square phi. So till now we have discussed about the conductor material which is required for overhead transmission lines for different systems, and what are the conductor materials which are required. I mean, how much amount of conductor material is required for underground cables also we have discussed in this topic. Okay. I mean, thank you so much. With this, I mean, we, uh, we have uh, mm, we have completed the basics to AC and DC transmission system, and we have also calculated the amount of conductor material which is required for AC transmission and DC for AC systems and DC systems, even for overhead lines and for underground cables also we have calculated. Okay, thank you so much.